Welcome to Previews Reviews, coming to you from Stadium Comics, located in Shoppers World Mall in beautiful Brampton, Ontario. Here are your hosts, Kevin Hickey and Ricky Lima.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Previews Reviews. And today we're going to be looking at comics coming out in June 2012. I'm Kevin Hickey.
And I am Ricky Lima.
And Ricky's just polished off some nice crazy bread, so you have to excuse him if he's got some flecks of Parmesan.
The most insane of bread.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Previews is the magazine that comic stores such as ourselves order their merchandise out of. This came out just 2 days ago, and it is filled to the brim with all kinds of pop culture merchandise. Literally thousands and thousands of products. We couldn't possibly go over all of them here on the show, but we're going to bring you some of the highlights for comics this week. Ricky, it seems like just yesterday we were sitting at this very table discussing our Avengers vs. X-Men decision.
Yes, that was good.
Have you had any backlash from that whole press conference?
A lot of people in my neighborhood, they're Avengers kind of supporters, so as I'm walking home I get like rocks thrown at me, I get slanders yelled at me.
I feel the same thing. I've been there's a lot of people on my street that have Avengers signs on their lawns, like during a federal election.
It's tough, man. It's tough.
But I go out at night and I kick them down. So
we're in the minority right now. I mean,
no neighborhood watch in my neighborhood. Go X-Men. We're gonna kick it off today with a new comic from Dark Horse called The Massive, Issue 1. In a post-war, post-crash, post-disaster, post-everything world, the environmental action trawler Capital scours the Earth's oceans for its mysteriously missing sister ship, The Massive. Captain Callum Israel, a man who has dedicated his life to the ocean, now must ask himself as our planet dies what it means to be an environmentalist after the world's ended. Callum and his crew will come up against pirates, rebels, murderers, and thieves as they struggle to remain noble toward their cause. Can you save a planet that is already doomed? Well, what do you think of this one? Mr. Brian Wood at the helm.
Sounds pretty cool. I mean, it's almost like what Walking Dead did to zombies, this seems to be doing to post-apocalyptic kind of world.
Oceans. It's like Walking Dead, but on oceans?
Pretty much. So, because Walking Dead was all about like the emotional states of people in a zombie apocalypse,
right?
And this is about the emotional state of people and like the environmental.
But they're all trapped on a boat.
That's even more
crazy.
It's gonna be like a
confined spaces.
Pressure cooker.
Not your friends. Confined spaces. This story will look at the end of the world from an environmental standpoint, and that's something that we haven't really seen too often, at least in comics. And I don't know about. I don't know if we've seen much of it in other forms of media as well.
Fallout had like nuclear reaction.
Yeah. The end of the world always seems to be caused by nuclear war, aliens, zombies, and this time it just seems to be ourselves and the damage we've inflicted on the planet that's caused the end of the world. Which, you know, is probably a lot more realistic. I think if the world is going to end, we're probably going to cause it through some negligence on our part.
Yeah, maybe. I always thought that the world would be taken over by, like, robots. We'd build robots so intelligent that they'd be like, oh, you are no longer efficient, and then kill us all.
They'd become sentient beings. Yeah. Skynet.
Pretty much, yeah.
Terminator.
End of the world, you'd have, like, flame pillars flying everywhere. That's usually pretty apocalyptic.
Coming out of, like, weird vents in the ground, and just flames.
For no reason.
Just because? Just because they're intimidating. The robots know we don't like fire. Brian Wood is writing this book, and he's been on a tear since he's left DC Comics and Vertigo. He's been writing a lot of stuff for Marvel. DMZ's come to an end. Northlanders has come to an end. He's been writing stuff for Marvel, and he's taken on Conan over at Dark Horse. Yeah. You've been liking
I've been Conan, reading that. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. He's certainly a guy who knows how to create worlds that are in chaos. Like DMZ was another one of those books where it was not quite post-apocalyptic, but the U.S. had gone to the crapper, and there was a civil war basically going on Manhattan Island.
It's good to see that there's life beyond the big two. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's almost like, you know, you're dating a high school football captain, and then he breaks up with you, and you're like, oh, you get really fat and ugly, and then nobody likes you anymore. Brian Wood, he stuck to it.
I know how that feels. I know how that feels.
I mean, it may not reach as broad an audience, but it's good to know that he can still do this.
I disagree. I think stuff from Dark Horse and Image and Boom, you're seeing all kinds of those works start to reach bigger audiences nowadays. I think the relaunch and other things like it have brought a whole bunch of new readers into the comic market, and they're hungry for new material. And if that means picking up a Dark Horse or Image book and it's a promising #1 title, I think they'll be more willing to jump on board. We certainly saw that with Saga last month.
That's true.
That's, you know, granted the writer behind it's Brian K. Vaughan, but you typically don't sell that many copies of an Image Comics book. So, just my 2 cents. Christian Donaldson is doing the artwork for this, and previous to this, he's been doing mostly cover work for Dark Horse, stuff like the Dr. Horrible comic covers, and he's also worked on a series called Supermarket, which some of you out there may know. I've never read it, but I heard it's good. So good things all around, I think, to expect from the massive #1. Ricky, talk about the big event of the summer.
Event of the summer.
Other than Avengers X-Men.
Other than.
Maybe, like, even surpassing Avengers X-Men.
Whoa.
What do you think?
I don't know, maybe, yeah. We'll see. But before the Watchmen #1s, you have Minutemen, comedian Silk Spectre, Night Owl. Minutemen's written and drawn by Darwin Cook. Silk Spectre's written by Darwin Cook and Amanda Connor, and art by Amanda Connor. Comedians written by Brian Azzarello, and the art by J.G. Jones. Night Owl is written by J. Michael Straczynski, art by Andy and Joe Kubert.
All right. So what do you think of these books, man?
I was looking at them in previews, and I'm actually kind of excited.
Yeah, me too. I mean, they don't really tell us what's going to be happening in the books. They've left it very hush-hush, and basically have just given us cover images, I guess, and the creative teams behind it. But, like, as far as creative teams go, these are some of the best names in the business. And, you know, say all you want about the controversy about whether or not DC should or shouldn't do a Watchmen prequel. It's going to happen now. There's no preventing it.
That's true. So STFU.
Well, not even that, but, I mean, it's done. It's going to happen. I think the creative teams they've put together on these books are incredible, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the characters.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Azzarello, he's my boy. I love that guy. So
he's your boy, eh?
Yeah.
I don't think he thinks that about you.
I was at a panel with him once. I was right in the front row, right in front of him.
Yeah.
And I started falling asleep. I felt like a jerk, but I was so tired.
And then afterwards, you were gently woken up by the soothing hand of Brian Azzarello.
He's like, can the jerk in the front wake up? I didn't want to. I was super interested, but I was just tired, man. You know, conventions, you get tired.
What was he talking about? Writing?
Yeah,
as a craft?
Yeah, pretty much.
We'll get to, you know, that later and why maybe you should have stayed awake during that meeting.
Okay. But there is some crazy variant covers.
Yeah. They're treating this, I guess rightfully so, like a huge event comic in DC. Each one of these books that are coming out during the month of June will have a 1 in 25 variant cover, and all of them will have 1 in 200 variant covers. And guess who the cover artist is for those 1 in 200s?
Is it Humberto Ramos?
No, thankfully for you, Ricky. But it is the man, Jim Lee.
Nice.
And I can't wait to see Jim Lee draw some of the Watchmen characters.
Which one in particular?
I think him drawing Rorschach or the comedian or Ozymandias would be amazing. But we'll have to wait a little longer for the Ozymandias book and the Rorschach book, because those aren't coming out in June.
But those are coming out after?
Yeah, these are the 4 titles that are coming out in June. And each one of the books will also feature the backup story, The Crimson Corsair, which I could take it or leave it. But
yeah, not gonna lie. In the original Watchmen, I was like, "What is this?" And I just kind of skipped it. I didn't skip it, but I read it.
So if you've got some money to spend and you're looking for a 1 in 200 Jim Lee variant, your time could be coming in June when he draws the Watchmen. Next, from IDW Comics, we have Mars Attacks, #1. The invasion begins. The first stories of an all-new Mars Attacks universe are here, bringing outrageous action and dark humor to the comics page. Eisner-winning writer John Layman from Chew is joined by Eisner-winning artist John McCrae, best known for Hitman, to sound the alarm. Beware, the Martians are coming.
Ooh.
I gotta say, like, I wasn't a big fan of Mars Attacks growing up.
Yeah.
And I had friends that were really into it and had the
Yeah.
trading cards and everything when they re-released them in the 90s. But I'm looking forward to this.
Me too. Me
Looking
too.
forward to it.
Sadly, I didn't have any experience with the said trading cards.
Yeah.
I watched the movie,
Right?
and the movie was pretty. It was one of those delightful B movies that you watch.
Yeah. It was a
So-
tribute to B movies. I don't think it quite did as well that as they were hoping with the big
Mhm.
cast that they had in the movie and stuff like that. But it didn't stay true to the trading cards, as I learned when I was researching this comic book.
So what is the deal with the trading cards?
Okay, well, the trading cards were released in 1962, so I guess we're coming up on the 50th anniversary, which
Yeah.
may be why there's so many Mars Attacks items in this previous catalog this month. And it was a series of cards that depicted, rather than having a story told in like comic or book form, they decided to tell it in trading card form.
That's pretty cool.
So you would buy a pack of 5 trading cards for 5 cents, and it would begin to tell the story of Mars Attacks. And essentially, it's a story about the Martians coming, being ruthless, and taking out everything in their path, and then humans flying to Mars and destroying the planet.
Nice.
And I don't think that happened in the movie.
No, I think
remember.
so either,
They played
yeah.
like a record, and
Yeah, blew up their heads.
Yeah.
Or something.
so kind of weird.
Wasn't it like David Arquette? Wasn't he in that?
Probably. There's a lot of Jack Nicholson was in it, and all-star
Oh.
cast.
Nice.
But
But this has how many variant covers? 55?
yeah, this is crazy.
What?
55 variant covers are shipping with this book. I don't even know
It's
where you
crazy.
begin with that.
I wouldn't even want 55 copies of this book.
Well, some people might if they're hardcore Mars Attacks fans and they've got the card collections. I mean, essentially what they're doing is taking one of the, each of the cards and putting them onto the cover of the comic. So
Yeah,
the
but then-
comic will look like an oversized Mars Attacks
But then they're
card.
charging like $3.25 for this, and it's
$3.99.
$3.99. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, well, and it comes with comic inside.
But it's
Times
the same,
55.
It's the same comic.
Well, there is a way that you can save a bit of money, though. IDW is making available to people who do want all 55 covers the option of purchasing them all, and it comes. They come in a Mars Attacks box, which mimics the original boxes that the trading cards were
cool.
sold in, and you get all 55 issues in there, plus the box, plus a 56 cover that's not available through comic stores in the traditional way off the shelf, and that's going to be about $200 for that. And it's a savings of about $25.
I think I'm like the worst nerd in the world. I don't want to spend money on anything. Companies
Well,
must
I
hate
mean,
me.
if Mars Attacks meant a lot to you, then maybe you would spend money on
There's
it.
a lot of money for like essentially just covers.
It was always also interesting that I found out that in the 60s when they were released, about 13 of the cards had to be pulled from the market and redone
Yeah.
because they thought that they were too violent, too gory,
Nice.
or too sexually suggestive, even for kids back then in the 60s. And then they were...
Whoa, this is back in the
released
60s.
later.
Everything was legal in the 60s.
Apparently
Whoa.
not. Apparently not. John Layman's writing this. He's the writer of Chew, so you know we're in for a good time there. That's basically all I have to say about it.
That's all I have to say too.
Cool. Lots of different, like I said, lots of different Mars Attacks items available in previous catalog this week. They're re-releasing the trading card sets again from Topps. And if you're a fan, you might want to check it out.
Are the trading cards going to have the same images as the covers of the books?
They should, yeah, because it's
Pick up the cards, people.
the art is actually by what's the guy's name? This guy named Wally Wood, and he was a pretty prominent artist on EC Comics back during this time. So next we have Harbinger #1 from Valiant Comics. The return of the Valiant universe continues as the first superhero legend of the modern age is reborn from New York Times bestselling author Joshua Dysart and Harvey Award winner Kari Evans. Read minds, bend steel, break all the rules. Teenager Peter Stenchek is out of work, on the skids, and unbeknownst to him, a psionic-powered Harbinger with the potential to reshape the course of human history. Toyo Harada is a wealthy business magnate, a respected philanthropist, and the most powerful Harbinger of all, or so he thought. As they forge an uneasy alliance, will Harada offer Peter a chance for redemption, or attempt to induct him into a secret network of conspiracy, subversion, and control? Peter is about to discover that he's not alone in this world, and soon the generation who has nothing will take on the man who has everything.
Sweet! Now this book sounds super 90s, which I do not have a problem with.
But the look of the book is nothing like super 90s.
Yeah.
It's very modern and very...
Nice.
It's put together really well, the artwork.
Yeah.
From the preview pages we've seen. But you love 90s comics.
I do love 90s comics, so
Why?
I'm super excited. I don't know, it's just so awesome. Like, I mean, this Peter Stenchek guy is just gonna be, like, hanging out, probably skateboarding, eating some, like, pepperoni zaz while he's doing it. It's just...
Rushing home to watch Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, there's, like, squiggly lines in the background, because that was pretty 90s.
Yeah, and neon squiggly lines.
Neon squiggly
lines.
It's just feel-good times, you know?
He's, like, on his Tamagotchi.
Yes, he's playing his Tamagotchi. It's amazing. It was a perfect time.
Yeah, see, you talk about the 90s in a lot of the ways that I talk about the 80s. Because, you know...
Wow.
But I like the 90s, too. I was a teenager in the 90s.
See?
It was good times.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
This is the second big book from the Valiant universe. Valiant's making a big splash starting in May with the release of Exo Manowar, which we talked about at length last time. We went over the whole history of Valiant Comics. Did you know that they just signed Canadian artist Carrie Nord to an exclusive contract?
Nice.
That's a pretty big deal. When you as a publisher are able to sign an artist to an exclusive contract, you're making a statement saying that we're, you know, willing to invest money in talent to put out quality work month after month after month. And hopefully it doesn't go the way of CrossGen and Valiant, I guess, before it, where they, you know, invest a lot of money in hiring top-notch talent, but then just all to have it fall apart at the end.
Hopefully not, because, I mean, we do need more publishers, I feel. I mean, you have Dark Horse, you have Boom, but something maybe a little bit more...
90-ish?
90s, right.
Okay.
You know, all the executives are like, whoa, party on, brah.
This will have a voice variant again.
Nice.
Valiant is known for being very innovative with their variants back in the 90s. Did you know that back in the 90s, Ricky, they had, for Harbinger, with the release of the first 6 issues, each issue came with a coupon in it.
Nice.
And then you could mail away the 6 coupons once you had them all assembled, and then Valiant would mail you a copy, a pink copy, they called it, of Harbinger issue 0.
Ooh.
Very collectible, even to this day.
So what is the pink copy?
It was like a pink cover to Harbinger issue 0.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So.
Nice. Hopefully they do something like that with this.
We'll see.
Next we have Spider-Men, issue number 1 of 5. Written by Brian Michael Bendis, art by Sarah Pichelli, and cover art by Humberto Ramos. This June, history will be made for the Marvel Universe.
That's all they've said.
This is...
Intriguing, Marvel. Intriguing.
I think Marvel's just getting lazy. They're like, should we explain this? No, we shouldn't.
Just put an image up there and be
Pretty
like,
much.
history will
Like,
be made.
they did that with Deadpool, where they're like,
somebody will die.
And then it's like they'll introduce a character, kill it, and then it's like, okay.
Yeah, Marvel hasn't really said what's going on with this book yet, but everything points to a crossover between Spider-Man in the regular Marvel Universe and Ultimate Spider-Man.
Say what?
Which has never been done. They've never crossed over.
That's crazy.
And this will be happening for the first time.
Will they battle, or will they team up?
I think they'll team up.
Yeah.
I think maybe they'll meet each other at first and not know who they are, and you know, and then they'll have like a little fight with each other, realize that they're both Spider-Man, and then they'll be like, "Hey, I'm from the Ultimate Universe." Like you'll actually say that.
Yeah.
In the thing.
Oh,
He'll be like, "Hi, I'm from the Ultimate Universe," and the other guy will be like, "Hi, I'm from the regular Marvel Universe," and then they'll be like, "Let's team up." and then they'll go after Ultimate and regular universe villains, maybe.
Ooh.
Who knows? I'm not sure how they're going to explain how this happened.
Probably something to do with like Madam Web or something.
Maybe.
She's pretty big.
Or Reed Richards. Maybe Reed Richards
Always
did some
Richards.
crazy shit or crazy stuff. This is gonna be a huge event. I think it's a shame that it's just a mini series. I'd like to see this done as an ongoing.
Hey, if it gets really good, maybe they'll continue it.
Stores are going to be offered the chance to get their own customized variant for this book.
Do you think Stadium?
I think we're going to pass, just because it's a mini-series. But we'll see. We have a couple days to decide still. We'll see what happens. Alright, last up we have Hit Girl, issue 1. Hit Girl spins off into her own blood-soaked series by the sales-busting creative team of Mark Millar and John Romita Jr. This story takes place between Kick-Ass Volumes 1 and 2 as Mindy McCready tries to settle into her life as a regular schoolgirl, but she wants nothing more than to be dispensing hot justice to the scum of New York City. Her mother and stepfather think she's doing her homework, but in reality she's taken Kick-Ass on as her sidekick and training him to punch, shoot, and stab, just like Daddy would have wanted.
Nice.
Yeah, so, okay, this is... I didn't realize this before, but it's taking place in between Kick-Ass 1 and Kick-Ass 2. So she hasn't quite resorted to snorting cocaine yet before going into a battle.
No, that happened in the first one.
So that was in the first one?
Yeah.
I thought that was in the second one.
That was in the first one. That was before the big epic ending battle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then she trains Kick-Ass, and then the second one starts with her training him, and then her stepfather's like, look, you can't do this anymore.
Is she snorting anything in the second one? Shooting anything?
I don't think
Smoking anything?
Nah, I don't think so.
No?
So.
Okay. Well, maybe she will in this one. We'll have to see.
Hopefully.
Any chance of any womb bombs?
Well, it's Mark Miller, so you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, she might like crawl inside of somebody and shoot them from inside. You never know, man.
Shoot at their uterus or something?
Mark Miller is crazy.
He is crazy. Now, there's lots of speculation about a Hit Girl movie that might be in the works, as opposed to a Kick-Ass sequel. And this would explain why, rather than doing another Kick-Ass series after the last one, that they're going ahead and doing this one. And it would also explain why they're kind of doing it in between Kick-Ass 1 and 2, so that they can give justification for it kind of being the framework for a movie.
Yeah.
You know? Whereas I don't think they really wanted to do Kick-Ass 2, the comic, as the sequel movie in Hollywood.
Right. But I don't know about a Hit Girl movie. Like, I mean, as much as I liked Hit Girl in the first movie...
Oh, she was the best part about the movie.
But I don't think she could have carried it. Like, realistically, I don't think she... It would have been boring if it was just her.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times can she say the C word in the
right?
span of 90 minutes?
Children actors. Like, let's be serious here about children actors.
What about them?
Let's be serious here about the children actors.
What about them? Let's be serious.
They're not that great. They're not the greatest. I mean,
they're all right. You see them in a few movies, and then next year you go to Wizard World, and they're there signing autographs for 3 days with nobody in line to see them.
Yeah, well...
I'll talk about you, Jake Lloyd.
Who's Jake Lloyd?
That's bad. He's Anakin.
Nice.
The kid that was Anakin.
Yeah, where's that guy?
Yeah, he's like at conventions, sitting there waiting for people to talk to him.
Losers.
They never do. They never do.
It's because they charge for, like,
well, that's how they make their money.
But, like, if nobody's talking to you, why are you going to charge, man?
But that's, like, how he makes his living now. They go around to conventions and charge people for autographs. That's just the way the business works.
Why doesn't he just get a job?
That is his job.
That's not a job.
Well,
that's a product of a job.
Ricky, when you appear in a Star Wars movie one day and you realize that you can go around the country making $20 a shot per autograph, let's see you turn that opportunity down.
I already make $20 a shot.
It's not going to happen. What kind of shot?
Whoa.
That's about it for the comics this week. We do have some honorable mentions. Deathstroke number 10's coming out, which you're excited about.
Featuring Lobo. I was just talking to someone on the previous...
on the Unboxing Wednesdays comments?
Who was asking who our favorite superheroes were. Lobo, my favorite superhero, and he's drawn by Rob Liefeld.
Okay.
I mean, can't get more 90s than that, right?
Why is Lobo your favorite?
Just because he's so badass. He just goes around on his motorcycle, and he's got really no ties to anything, and he just, like, stabs people.
Cool. We also have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Classics graphic novel coming out, which covers a lot of the early Eastman and Laird stuff from IDW. Spawn's 20th anniversary issue from Image Comics, with a lot of tribute covers to other Image titles such as Savage Dragon and Youngblood and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Lastly, Ricky, I just want to say that you threw down the gauntlet in last month's comics review episode, called out George Perez on his writing ability and said that you could do better. And I issued you a challenge, and you accepted.
I said I could teach him a thing or two, and I did. And I got a video for you guys.
Ricky did upload a video to our YouTube channel. It's called Writing Comics 101 with Ricky. And check it out. In there, you present your Superman story to everybody. And we'll let you guys be the judge on who's the better writer, Ricky or George Perez.
And please let me know if you like it. Maybe I could do more. I don't know. We'll see.
So that's it for the comics this week. Thank you very much for watching. Join us next time when we take a look at Collectables, Toys and Statues coming out in June 2012.